everybody, my name's Alex and this is my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me for this compassion-focused practice today, this self-compassion focused practice. So I want to talk a little bit about yoga's purpose. One of the things that we're taught in yoga philosophy is that the purpose of yoga is to still the roaming tendencies of the mind. But what does that even mean? For me, it often means that my mind has a tendency to run away. It hops on whatever thought train it can find and it just rides all the way down into crazy town. Unless I'm able to catch it, stop it, get it off the train before the train gets too far. Fortunately, yoga has taught me and given me the tools that I need to catch myself when that happens, to witness my mind running away with me and to bring it back and stop it before it gets too far. So once I catch myself, my mind running away on a thought train, all I have to do is implement a tool to help rein it back in. And one of the tools that works best for me is flooding myself with self-compassion. So let's say, for instance, that my mind is running away with stress. I've got some stress going on and I'm just running away with anxiety and stress. If I catch myself, if I notice, okay, I'm getting really involved with my stress right now, then I can start to flood myself with self-compassion. You know what? It's okay that I'm stressed out right now. Life is kind of crazy. There's a lot happening around me, and it's normal for me to be stressed out. It's healthy even. But what's not healthy is for me to allow myself to indulge in that stress. So I'm going to be kind to myself and allow myself to be stressed, to be okay with the fact that I'm stressed out right now. And then I'm going to pull myself away from the stress and give myself some self-care, because that's what compassion is. I'm not going to keep doing the things or involving myself in the stress. I'm going to pull myself away and do something that's just for me, whether it's a yoga practice, a nice warm bath, a run, whatever it's going to be, it's going to help me get out of my stress, even if just for a few moments, and then dive back in when I'm ready, when I feel cared for. So today's yoga practice is going to be really focused on managing the negativity that we kind of experience in our lives and then flooding ourselves with self-compassion. So join me on the mat. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll start lying down flat on the mat and I will meet you there. So right away we're going to get started. Let's take the feet flat onto the mat, knees bent. Let the knees rest in towards one another. Hands can rest, one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Let's start to create a smooth, even breath. So breathe in. Breathe out. Go at your own pace, what's natural for you, but try to let the breath be deep. Notice if there's a wavering or a catching in your breath. If you have a hard time letting the breath be smooth, just notice. That's okay. Simply make the effort to smooth the breath. Even if it doesn't become smooth, the effort is all you need. And then we're going to start to add some mindful containment, abdominal containment to our breathing. So let the hands rest down onto the belly. And then let the belly fill with breath and become expansive on the inhale. On the exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine and get a sense that the belly button's moving up towards the chest at the same time. And then inhale, release, become expansive. Exhale, pull the abdomen in, belly button towards the spine and up towards the rib cage. And then inhale, release. Keep moving with your breath. On the exhale, become strong. Pull the belly button in and up. And notice whether or not abdominal containment, getting strong through the core, is something that's easy or difficult for you. Sometimes, if we have a tendency to let our thoughts run away with us, or if we have a hard time reining ourselves in, that can show up in the abdominal core. We might have a hard time containing the abdomen as well. So we work on containing the abdomen. We can work on reining in and containing the thoughts. Let's inhale, release. Big breath in, expansive through the belly, and then exhale, soften. All right. Let's go ahead and pull the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, a nice hug, some love for yourself today. Self-compassion. So regardless of whether you struggle with abdominal containment or not, that's okay. You still love yourself. You still accept where you are and allow yourself to be there. That's practicing self-compassion. All right, let's move on. Arms are going to come to a T shape. Press the hands into the mat. Knees come over the hips, and then the feet come directly out from the knees. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Try to flatten the low back against the mat, and then exhale. Let the knees come about 45 degrees to the right, and then inhale back to center. On the next exhale, 45 degrees to the left. And then inhale back to center. Keep the abdomen strong. Belly button pulling towards the spine as you go back and forth. Each exhale, one direction. Each inhale back to center. Try to keep the shoulders grounded. So if you need to go less than 45 degrees, that's okay. If you can go a little further, great. That's fine too. Let's go one more time towards the right. This time we're going to pause and we're going to hold. Strong through the core. Pull the belly button in. You may start to feel a sense of shaking here. That's okay. And then back to center. Let's go to the other side one more time. Hold. Strong. And then back to center. Hug the knees, give yourself a little squeeze. And then from here, let's find our way up to hands and knees. So I'm going to rock up on my spine, and I'm going to come onto my hands and knees. So wrists come underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, and we're going to take a few rounds of cat-cow, and we're going to work a little bit more with that abdominal containment and abdominal engagement. So on the inhale, lift the chest, the tailbone, the gaze, stretch through the abdomen, and then exhale, round the back, pull the belly button towards the spine as you let the head move down between the arms. Squeeze. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, let it release, let it stretch. Exhale, round the back, pull the belly button and squeeze. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. And then exhale, round the back, pull the belly button towards the spine. We're going to pause and hold it here. Keep the abdomen strong. Belly button really squeezing towards the spine, so we're containing through the abdomen. Notice if your tummy wants to soften. And if it does, that's okay. Just keep making the effort to squeeze and stay strong. And then let's release and come back to neutral. Now we're going to take a few rounds of a dynamic thread the needle. So I'm just going to turn to face the camera so that you can see what I've got going on here. Wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Let's take the right fingertips out towards the side. Exhale, pull the belly button towards the spine. Stay strong through the core, and then reach the arm through as far as you can. Keep the abdomen strong. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, reach, squeeze the abdomen. Stay strong. And then back up on the inhale. Last time, exhale, squeeze and reach as far as you can, and then let the head and the temple rest down onto the mat. And let's just take a couple breaths here in our thread the needle. Good. Now let's come back up to hands and knees. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So 3 rounds. Inhale, reach the arm. Exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine, contain through the abdomen, reach as far as you can, and then inhale back up. Stay strong through the core. Exhale, reach through. One more time, inhale up. And then exhale, reach and squeeze, reach, and then let the head and the shoulder rest down onto the mat. Let's take a couple breaths here. And then back up to hands and knees. Awesome. Now I'm going to turn back to face forward on my mat, and we're going to come into a downward facing dog. So hands press down into the mat, curl the toes under, lift the hips up towards the ceiling, press the chest towards the thighs. You might want to add a little bit of movement here, maybe pedaling the feet, bending one knee and then the other, or shifting the hips.
moving the weight around, anything that's going to be helpful as you adjust into the posture, but gradually working your way in towards some stillness. Belly button pulls towards the spine. This is a strong posture. And then let's shift forward into a plank pose. Work on building some more core strength. Belly button pulls towards the spine. Feet press towards the wall behind you. Shoulders are strong. Hands pressing down into the mat so that you're tall through the shoulders and not sinking into the shoulder joints. A couple more breaths here. And then back to your downward facing dog. Awesome. Let's inhale to look forward to the top of the mat. Walk the feet to the top of the mat and come into a forward fold. Bend the knees. Upper body rests down towards the legs. On your next inhale, lift halfway, lengthen through the spine. Crown of the head reaches forward, tailbone reaches back. Pull the belly button in. Get strong through the core. Pause here, just another breath. And then exhale, fold, bend the knees, rest the upper body back down towards the legs. And then inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Arms reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. And then let's move through a few rounds of sun breath together. So again, inhale, arms reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees, let the upper body rest down towards the legs. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen the spine, pull the belly button in, get contained through the abdomen. Exhale, fold. And then inhale all the way up, arms reach. And exhale the hands down to heart center. Let's do one more round like that together. Inhale, arms reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale the hands down to heart center. Beautiful. All right, so from here, let's set up for a warrior one. We're gonna step the left foot back, so the right foot stays forward. Bend into the front knee. Square the hips so that they're facing towards the front of the mat, and then reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Now right away, think about pressing the feet down into the mat so that you're strong through the legs and pulling the belly button in towards the spine so you're contained through the abdomen. Arms are reaching up towards the ceiling. Let's do a little bit of movement here together. So think about inhaling and lengthening and reaching out in opposite directions towards the ground and towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, pull the arms down, pull the belly button towards the spine. Think about pulling up from the pelvis and down from the chest, from the heart space. And then inhale, reach back up, lengthen that whole area. Exhale, pull, squeeze the abdomen in, pelvis moves towards the chest, chest moves towards the pelvis. Inhale, reach. And again, exhale, squeeze, pull it down. One more time, inhale, reach. And then exhale, pull, squeeze the abdomen in, pull the chest and the pelvis towards one another. Let's pause here, hands at heart center. Strong through the core, see if you can maintain that sense of containment. And then keep strong through the core as you twist towards the leg that's out in front of you. So my right leg's forward, so I'm twisting towards the right. Stay strong through the core. Notice if your core wants to start to release its engagement and try to keep it strong. Bringing the heart down towards the core, bringing the pelvis up towards the core. So it's a downward and an upward movement together to help maintain that containment. Breathe. And then release. Reach the arms back up, stretch it out. And then exhale, lengthen the leg. Let's take the hands down to the front thigh and we'll just do a little stretch for the hamstring. So come about halfway, keep the spine long, pull the belly button towards the spine, and then fold down just as far as until you start to feel sensation through the back of the leg, and pause there for a few breaths. Notice if your core wants to soften and release, but try to keep that containment strong. And then bend the knee, rise back up. And then we're simply going to turn around to face the other direction to do warrior one on the other side. So I'm going to turn to face the wall and then turn towards the other end of the mat. And I'm going to space my other foot, my front foot, out towards the edge of the mat so that I've got space between the legs and I can square my hips forward comfortably. And then press down into the feet, get tall, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to do the same thing on this side. So on the exhale, pull the abdomen in towards the spine, pelvis moves up towards the chest moves down towards the pelvis, and then inhale, reach. And again, exhale, squeeze and pull it down and up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. One more time, inhale, reach. And then exhale, pull the pelvis up, pull the heart space down, pull the belly button towards the spine. Hands can rest at heart center. Stay strong here. Contain through the core and then twist towards the left leg this time, towards the leg that's out in front. Breathe. And then back to center. Arms reach up, stretch it out. Feel the feet pressing down, the arms reaching up. And then exhale the hands down, lengthen the front leg. Let's take that pyramid stretch. So fold the body down, keep the spine long, belly button pulled in towards the spine so we're still staying contained to the abdomen, and just fold down as far as is comfortable until you start to feel that sensation, that sense of opening through the back of the leg. Beautiful. Bend the knee, and then let's come back up. And then I'm going to step both feet together and turn back to the top of the mat. Mountain pose, feet root down, stand up tall. And then let's find some more abdominal containment. So the belly button pulls in towards the spine, and think about the inner hips, or the hip tips also pulling in towards one another. So it's almost like an inward moving towards the center line of the body. And I'll face forward to show you. So I'm kind of moving my hips in, using my hands to help create that sensation as the belly button pulls towards the spine. Then lift up through the chest and start to pull the shoulder blades towards one another. So there's expansion through the chest. So we've got containment here, and we've got opening here. Arms down alongside you. Notice if the abdomen wants to start to release, and try to stay strong there. And then soften, release. Shake it out if you want. All right, so from the top of the mat, let's inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen through the spine. Pull the belly button in. Exhale, fold. And then take your hands to the mat, and let's take the feet back and come into a downward facing dog. So the hands root down into the mat, get long through the arms. Press the hips up towards the ceiling, chest moves towards the thighs. Beautiful. And then you can stay right here in your downward dog, or if you'd like, shift forward to hold plank for a few rounds of breath. Work on building some abdominal strength. Belly button pulls towards the spine. Press into the hands so that you're tall through the shoulders, not sinking down into the shoulder joints. And the heels of the feet press back towards the wall behind you. You can stay here for another breath, or if you have vinyasa in your practice and you want to flow through, exhale to lower down chaturanga, pausing at 90 degrees in the elbows, and then inhale. Lift up into your upward facing dog. Press the heart towards the sky. And then exhale back to your downward dog. Beautiful. And then let's take another breath here. Pressing the chest towards the thighs, getting long through the spine. And then reach the right foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee. Pull the belly button towards the spine as the knee comes towards the nose. Let the foot come down between the hands. Awesome. So now we're coming into a high lunge. We're going to press the heel of the back foot towards the wall behind us. Front knee drives forward towards the wall in front of us. Get light on the fingertips. Whew, man, I'm working hard here. I don't know if you can hear my breathing. Pull your belly button towards your spine. Create that abdominal containment, and then bring the hands to heart center. Twist towards the leg that's out in front of you. So my right leg's forward and twisting towards the right. My left elbow hooks onto my right knee. Stay strong through your core. Belly button still pulling towards the spine. Very strong. Breathe. And then exhale, release, hands back down. Let's step back to a downward facing dog. Awesome. Press the hips up towards the ceiling. Press the hands into the mat, get long through the arms. Let's lift the left leg up towards the ceiling. Pull the belly button towards the spine as the knee comes in towards the nose, and then foot down between the hands. Beautiful. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So start to get long through the spine, light on the fingertips. Pull the belly button in, hands come together at heart center, and twist towards the leg that's in front of you. So this time I'm twisting towards the left, my right elbow resting on my left thigh. Stay strong through the core. Notice if it wants to release, but keep fighting to pull the abdomen in and to be engaged through your abdomen. And even if you feel like you're not quite getting it, that's okay. Making the effort to do so is all that you need. Remind yourself that. Be compassionate. And then exhale, release, hands down, and let's step back to our downward facing dog. Awesome. All right. Let's take a couple breaths here. And then inhale, look forward, travel your feet to the top of the mat, come into your forward fold. Bend your knees, let your upper body rest down. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing arms reach. And then exhale the hands down to heart center. Beautiful. We just built a lot of heat. We've got one more intense abdominal containment posture to go, but let's take a few breaths in mountain pose just to kind of smooth everything back out. Come back to a place of homeostasis. Stand up tall. Belly button pulls towards the spine, hips move towards one another, shoulder blades pull towards one another so you're broad through the chest. Try to smooth and quiet the breath. And notice if anything starts popping up for you here. If your mind starts to wander, where does your mind go? What kind of thoughts come into your mind space? And then pull those thoughts down into your heart space and flood them with compassion, whatever they are. Whatever you're experiencing right now is perfect. It's your experience, and it's exactly what you need. All right. Let's move on. So feet come a little bit closer together. We're coming to a chair pose. We're going to do a chair twist. So this is a challenging posture. So just be mindful for how you feel about how you do and what you want to do while you're in the posture and what kind of thoughts pop into your head. Just be aware. Try to observe. All right. Inhale, arms reach up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bend the knees, sink the seat, find your chair pose. Belly button pulls towards the spine. Let's take the hands down to heart center right away. And then from here, get strong through the core, belly button pulls in, and twist towards the right. You can stay upright just like this, or maybe you want to take it deeper, hook the left elbow onto the right knee. Stay strong through the core, abdomen is contained. Breathe. Let's see if we can hold this for 5 full rounds of breath while staying strong through the core. And if you decide that you need to come out of it before 5 rounds of breath, that's okay. Come out of it when you need to. All right, did some talking, so that's probably 5. Let's come back to center. Belly button towards the spine. Legs are burning. Let's inhale, reach, lengthen. Exhale the hands down. Notice how you feel. Just observe anything that's noteworthy to you. Could be physical sensations, could be emotional, mental thoughts, mental chatter, whatever it is, notice. What are your patterns? What are your tendencies?
let's do the other side. I'm going to turn around to face the other way so that I'm not twisting away from you this time. Feet together, arms down alongside you. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the seat, find your chair pose, belly button towards the spine, hands to heart center. Pull in towards the core, pull in towards the spine with the abdomen, and then twist towards the left. This time you can stay upright or hook the elbow onto the knee and find your revolved chair, your twisting chair. And let's breathe, 5 rounds of breath. Stay strong through the core. And then last exhale. Let's come back to center. Inhale, reach. And then exhale the arms all the way down. Find your mountain pose. Stand tall. But we're not releasing that core strength yet. Belly button pulls towards the spine. Hip tips move towards one another. Broaden through the chest. Get the sense that we're pulling the heart space down towards the core. We're pulling the pelvis up towards the core. So there's a marrying of those two areas right here in the center of the core. And then release. Shake it out. And then back to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold hands to the mat. Step yourself back to your downward facing dog. Reach the hips up, press the chest towards the thighs. Hands press down into the mat. And then lower the knees down onto the mat. I'll invite you to come either into a child's pose, in which case you'll send your hips back towards your heels, reach your arms long in front of you, forehead rests down onto the mat, or if you prefer, just come to a seated posture, sitting upright. And allow yourself to just find your breath, whatever option you choose. And take a moment to just be here in this resting posture. Notice your mind. Where does it go? Is there a tendency to be critical? Or is there a tendency to get stuck on the things that you did wrong? The things that you felt you could have done better, the things that you couldn't do? What is that tendency? Notice it. And then flood yourself with compassion over it. Maybe you say, it's okay that I'm frustrated with myself. I want to be better, and that's okay. Or maybe you say, it's okay that I didn't do that well. I'm still new at this. I'll get better. Whatever you notice, just be kind to yourself. There's no need for self-judgment, self-criticism. Let the breath be soft and smooth. And then imagine uniting your mind space with your heart space, bringing the mind down into the heart and just flooding it with compassion, with the loving energy of your heart center. How does it feel to marry your mind and your heart? If you're down in child's pose, go ahead and make your way up to a seated position. We'll come to an easy, comfortable seat, legs crossed on the mat. From here, we'll take a simple seated twist. So let the left hand rest onto the right knee, and the right hand rest behind you on the mat. Pull your belly button in as you twist. Don't use your hands to pull you into the twist. Use your core strength to create the twist. Towards the right side of the room. And then soften, release. We'll do the same twist in the opposite direction. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Use your core strength to pull you into the twist, not your hands. And then hold here. The hands are here for support, but we're relying on the strength of the abdomen to hold us in the twist. And then soften, release, back to center. Let's come into a seated forward fold. So legs come out long in front of you. You can bend the knees any amount as needed to help create space for yourself in the fold. Sit up tall, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, start to bring the torso down towards the legs any amount. Try to keep the spine long. Pause at that place where you feel stuck. You can't go any further. Inhale, lengthen one more time. Exhale, see if you can't come a little bit further. Pull the belly button in and then soften and release. Down into your forward fold, letting the upper body just be relaxed, letting the hands rest alongside you so we're not pulling or forcing anything. We're just allowing ourselves now to rest with compassion. After doing all of that work and practice, this is the time to rest, to be soft, to be gentle with ourselves. Notice how difficult or easy it is for you to be gentle here. Is there a desire to pull yourself further into the fold? Be aware of that. Be curious about what that is or why that is. Or maybe you're all too eager to start being gentle on yourself now. Be curious about that as well. Let's inhale, lengthen, and come back up. And then from here, we'll come down onto the mat and rest in our Shavasana, do a guided relaxation. So legs lengthen out onto the mat, upper body rests down, let your head rest comfortably on the mat. You can use a prop underneath of your head for support if you'd like. If you notice tension in your low back, feel free to bend the knees and let the knees rest in towards one another. That helps to soften the tension in the low back if that's an issue for you. Otherwise, legs long, arms down alongside you, or wherever it's comfortable for the arms to be. Close the eyes. Find the breath. Breathe into your heart space. Nourish the space in your heart with the loving energy of your breath. And then send your breath, the loving energy of your breath, down to your abdomen. And allow the belly to expand, to be soft and pliable after all of that containment. You might put the hands on the belly for a breath or two and just feel that expansion. And then bring your awareness to the top of your head, the crown of your head. And see if you can get a sense that the muscles along the crown of your head are beginning to soften. And as the muscles at the head soften, let your mind soften. Soften down around your eyes and into your cheeks. And then soften your lips, your jaw, your whole face and head. Let that softening move down to your neck and shoulders. And then the upper arms, lower arms, palms of the hands, and tips of the fingers. And then be aware of your chest and soften through the muscles in your chest. Soften through your heart space.
all the way to the back side of the body, the upper back. And then let that softening spread down through the core, all the way around the core from the front side to the back side. So the abdomen, mid, and low back become soft, spacious. Soften your hips and your glutes, your thighs and your hamstrings, your shins and calf muscles, your feet, the tips of your toes. And get a sense that your whole body is soft from the crown of your head down to the tips of your toes. The ground beneath you providing support for your body so that you can rest and release, settle into ease. As your body settles into ease, let your mind follow suit. Resting your awareness once again with your breath. Allowing the breath in to nourish the body, filling you up with exactly what you need in this moment. And the breath out to cleanse the body, helping you to release everything that you don't need. And as you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your ankles and wrists. Bring little movements back to the body in any way that might feel helpful or supportive. Maybe bending the knees, taking the knees flat to the mat, or the feet flat to the mat, and then hugging the knees into the chest. When you're ready, let's come up to a seated position on the mat. Whatever way works for you. Keep your eyes closed or let them rest at a soft focal point, at a gaze. And then sit up tall. And just feel the effects of your yoga practice on you. Noticing how you feel now, maybe in comparison to how you felt before practice. There's an enduring sense of peace that exists at the center of the heart at all times. It's just not always easy to access, but when we take the time to access it, we can use it to our advantage, to feel good, to ease away stress, fear, self-doubt, or any other negative feelings, and to just be. Thank you so much for joining me in practice today. I'm going to link a guided meditation that goes along with this practice if you'd like to use it. The link is below. Otherwise, I'll see you for our next practice. Namaste.